Hey everyone. As of late, I've kind of been feeling like I've just been going through the motions. And the interesting thing about this is, this seems to happen almost every time I come home from visiting my family in Colorado. And part of that is largely because I care about my family so much that I enjoy being around them. And another part is just Colorado is such a beautiful and kind of carefree place, at least where my family lives, because they're in basically like the southwest corner of the state, and it's largely rural areas over there, so there aren't major cities. The biggest city is, I believe, Grand Junction in that area, and it has a population of 60,000 people. But even for how large of a city that is, it still feels small. There's like this interesting aspect where, I guess because it's a city that isn't surrounded by a ton of other cities, it feels a lot smaller than it actually is. And also, it's interesting that it takes maybe like 12 minutes to get from one side of the city to the other. So it's pretty small in that regard, even though it kind of isn't. But basically, I enjoy being out there so much that when I come back to Los Angeles, it kind of feels like I'm missing a part of me, I guess. So it makes it so I just don't care as much about things here, including my job, which is unfortunate because I do like my coworkers. They're a great crew. I just feel like I have no real motivation to do anything. And I've talked in prior videos, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I value freedom so much that I'll never be at my happiest working for other people, because then I have other people to answer to, and I don't like that aspect, and the whole not being able to do what you want to do because you have to do what you're told to do to make a paycheck and all that crap. So I basically have just felt like I've been going through the motions. And even before I visited my family this most recent time, like right before that, I was actually beginning to feel like I was going through the motions again, and I was even going to make a video talking about it, but I guess I just stumbled into other topics that were better. I don't know. So basically, I'm making a video on this now because it's just something I felt quite off and on now, and it all stems around me just not feeling like I belong here anymore in Los Angeles. And it's unfortunate because obviously it's not something I can just immediately up and leave. Like, there's a lot of things that are involved here, a lot of factors, and one of the big ones being, of course, money, because I do not make a ton of money. For those of you who don't know, I work in marketing, and I'm a really low-level position, like basically entry level, even though I've been working in this industry for a while now, and part of that's my own fault for jumping ship from my last job for mental health reasons, where I had like a manager in my title, but I was starting to yet again feel like I was going through the motions. And also at that last job, my mental health was declining so rapidly that I just knew I had to get out. It was basically, with yet again great coworkers, but the company was just kind of unorganized and a bit dysfunctional for that reason. So everybody was overworked and underpaid, and I just had enough of it. So I decided leaving was so important that I quit without having anything lined up, and then decided to take an entry-level position for the same pay, funny enough. Remember, overworked, underpaid, because now I'm making the same amount but working with a lesser title. Went from a manager back to a coordinator, but I don't really care all that much. I mean, I do care to an extent, because I would prefer making like 10K more so that I could have more money to work with, so I could make these decisions to leave Los Angeles and that sort of thing a lot quicker. But fortunately, it's not the case for now. So basically, I feel like I'm just at this point where I'm just biding my time to make major life changes that will hopefully make me happier. And they're pretty much boiling down to getting out of Los Angeles, which basically means leaving California entirely, because this state is just horribly ran from the top, and it's no wonder all the big businesses are leaving and a lot of residents are leaving. I actually read, I think for a few years now, California has been having more people leaving the state than coming into it. So that's interesting, and there's a reason for that. So yeah, I want to get out of this state. And another big life change I want to eventually make is no longer working for other people, which I need to get off my own butt when it comes to that, because I need to figure out how I can make money helping other people, because that's what I want to do. I don't want to spend my whole life doing marketing and other crap like that. Like, I know I could easily rise up in a corporation and be like an executive. I know I have what it takes to do that, but that doesn't sound appealing to me. It just doesn't, especially thinking about how a lot of executives are and the games that are played there, and the way many of them care more about the bottom line than they do the customers or their own employees, and that doesn't sit right with me either. So I just feel like I need to get out of this game of working for other people, and I need to get out of the environment I live in. So until I do, I feel like I will be spending a lot of time feeling like I'm just going through the motions, where I'm just there to be there to get a paycheck and then leave and be like, okay, bye everyone. Pretend I don't exist to you now, because that's the way it is. I'm going to go off into, I don't even know, I was going to say the forest. There is no forest to go off into here. So yeah, there's no way to escape, really. There isn't. Maybe like a 2-hour drive to the mountains, but then so many people go up there because so many people live around here that I doubt I could even exactly find like a place to myself to just relax. So yeah, I need to get out of here. That's what it all boils down to at the end of the day. And part of me is disappointed because the timeline for that is getting pushed out. I mean, it's good and bad. It's good because obviously my financials, it gives me time to work that out a bit better, because for now they weren't all that great leading up to what I thought would be the time period I'd move out, which would be probably just before spring of next year or so, because that's when my roommate was talking about moving himself. But now that he's considering staying here for like at least another year minimum, that is a good thing. It gives me more time to save up and hopefully be in a better place to get out. But I feel like I'm just at this point where I really want to get out now, like as soon as possible. But I can't, and that frustrates me. I mean, obviously I can, right? Like if I wanted to just be really risky, it would probably be an actually really horrible move. But there are options I could take to get out of here right here and now. But I just know they're not the right ones to make, which is why I'm not jumping on any of them. I could even move back in with my parents. That's another option. But I don't really want to do that either, as much as I love them. I love the freedom of, not living with them. So yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Basically, just biding time to make a lot of major life changes. So until then, it's going through the motions. Yeah. Oh well. So I don't really know why I'm making this video. I guess it's kind of just another pseudo life update type thing, although not really. Just me sharing my thoughts with you guys for, I don't know. I always feel like I need a reason for making these videos, but at the end of the day, maybe the only reason is that I care about you guys, and I feel like sharing this with you is, just kind of like updating a friend on where I'm at in life, because, I do that as well. So maybe I just need to start thinking in that way instead of constantly thinking about engagement and speaking to new followers and that sort of thing. It matters, but I think what matters more is just keeping you guys around who have been following for a while. So yeah, these videos, I'll think of them as an update from a friend to a friend. There you go. So that's the way you can view them, and more so the way I should view them, so I don't feel like they're kind of a waste of a video, because otherwise that's kind of how I think, and that's not the healthiest way to view it. But yeah, I guess if you get anything out of this, if I could go for something a bit more helpful, I guess it's just that this will happen from time to time to all of us, right? Where we kind of just feel like our current way of doing things isn't working so much anymore, and we feel like we're just going through the motions, just showing up just to do it because it's our routine, our habits, or we need a paycheck. And that's okay, as long as you're working towards a grander vision, the grander life changes. I feel like it's okay to go through the motions for a bit. Just make sure you're able to handle it. Make sure, for your mental health's sake, that you're able to handle it, and also that you do things to allow yourself to gain some joy out of life. Like, do things you enjoy on the weekends or whenever you can, so that you don't allow this going through the motions mentality to seep into your overall life, maybe just when you're at work, because that happens to many of us, and that's okay. It's not like work is super important to us. Many of us do it merely because we have to, because of the way societies are shaped and the way they're set up. And don't even get me started on that. I do believe there's like a overall creator out there, and I've had conversations with that entity saying, I don't know what the hell humans are doing, because it's ridiculous the way we've set up our ways of living on this planet, having to work for our whole freaking lives, and many people being incredibly unhappy, and then we die, and it's like, what the hell is going on with who designed that? Because that's ridiculous, right? It's crazy we even exist in the first place, and yet this is the way we've decided to create our societies and our ways of living. Like, what the hell? But don't get me started on that. It's just, yeah, so there you go. That's pretty much all I have to say. I hope you found this video somewhat entertaining, or maybe a bit enlightening, or at the end of the day, I hope you just enjoy it for what it is. Me speaking to you, my friends out there on the internet, which is so freaking awesome how this provides a medium where we can even connect over these incredible distances. So yeah, I mean, to all of my internet pen pals, I hope you enjoy this. So yeah, that's all I have for you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci.